Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Juliana. Today's video is going to be all about jewelry or how to style your jewelry with your outfits. I really love jewelry. I feel like it's the key to elevating your outfits. Like my clothing pieces tend to be more simplistic and minimal, so I feel like my jewelry pieces are what really add that extra flair to my look. I think that jewelry can sometimes be a more of an investment piece than your clothing. Like we want everything that we buy to have long-term value and be timeless, but especially your jewelry. Like you could wear your jewelry every single day, whereas it wouldn't be the same if you wear the same outfit every day. I want to start by talking about how to choose the right jewelry style for your face shape and your facial features. I don't feel like this is talked about as much, or it's not talked about as much as things like your undertone and whether you suit gold or silver, which we'll also talk about, but I do think certain face shapes and facial features will suit different styles of jewelry. But before we dig into all that, I do want to say a big thank you to the sponsor of this video, which is Ana Luisa. If you guys have watched my videos before, you'll know that I love working with them and I really stand by their brand. I do want to share with you guys some of my favorite pieces. I'm actually wearing them right now. Let me zoom you guys in a bit. This longest pendant one is called their pebble necklace. It shines so beautifully and it works so well with my wardrobe since I really wear neutral outfits. Definitely a statement piece, but somehow still delicate. Another staple piece is this chain necklace. The design is called Leo and I think it's a Figaro style chain. I've had this one for much longer. As you can see, it's just as bright and shiny as the other necklaces, and that's something that I really liked about the brand. It can be hard to know which jewelry brands are actually good quality because I mean all jewelry tends to look nice when you first buy it, but you only know if it lasts after you have it for a couple months or a couple years. I think I've had this one for over 8 months. It's been a while and I sleep and shower and do everything in my jewelry, but even still this necklace remains unchanged, which I think is really rare, so I can definitely vouch for the longevity of these pieces. Another newer piece is this Oro bracelet. It kind of mimics a watch strap, which I love. I've actually always wanted a bracelet like this, and Luisa definitely gets my stamp of approval in terms of longevity and design. So they're not only a great brand to have for yourself, but also since Mother's Day is coming up, they're also great pieces to gift to a loved one. So I'll leave a link to their website down in my description. Thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. Okay guys, now on to finding the right jewelry type for your face shape. There's many different face shapes. Some common ones are the square face shape, round face shape, oval, oblong, and heart face shape. Oh, there's also the diamond face shape. Everything around your face, so things like your hair, your necklaces, and your earrings, as well as other accessories like hats, glasses, and scarves. There's certain styles that will flatter your face shape more than others. So if you have a shorter face, like a round or square face, you'll tend to suit earrings that are longer or more draped. These have a longer visual line, and in doing so, it tends to stretch out your entire face area. This can really balance a shorter face. And if you were to wear shorter earrings or shorter necklaces, it can close in the face, so it looks shorter or rounder. On the flip side, if you have more of a longer, like oval or oblong face, when you wear shorter necklaces or like collar choker necklaces, as well as shorter or wider earrings like hoops, these make the face wider, which also creates a sense of visual harmony. At the end of the day, you can really wear whatever jewelry style you like. Everyone's features are so unique, so this is just kind of one factor, but personally I think it's really fascinating how you can kind of create these visual illusions and use your accessories not to just embellish your outfit, but also influence your facial proportions so that you can choose styles that really flatter your face shape and your features best. For someone with a heart-shaped face, the hairline area tends to be the widest and the chin tends to be more narrow, so you can balance that by choosing a larger necklace, as well as teardrop styles. Teardrop styles tend to be wider at the bottom, which is kind of the opposite of the heart face shape. In general, if you want your jewelry to kind of contour your face, choose more geometric or square styles. Right now I'm wearing these Ana Luisa Rocks mini hoops, and they're not a circle, rather they're more like a squoval, and that produces more of an angular effect than simple round hoops. Same goes for pendant necklaces. As you can see, pendant necklaces kind of go to a point, so it'll subtly make your face more angular than if you were to only use round necklaces. Now, if you feel like you're a very unique mix of all the types and you're really not sure what combination you are, I do want to mention that I offer personal styling. My services are completely online and you can book at any time. Essentially, all you have to do is book the analysis, then from there fill out this quick survey. It basically gives me a sense of your current wardrobe as well as your style goals. This questionnaire is also where you'll submit your photos, like a picture of your face or your whole body depending on the service, and from there I create a PDF booklet. I like to call it your style cheat sheet because it's something that you have for life. Even as we age and even as our weight fluctuates, our bone structure and things like our undertone, they don't tend to change, so you'll always know your best styles. I really want to create services that are kind of like a style investment. If you always know your best styles, you don't have to really trial test and buy things that you'll regret later. You'll always know which styles really suit you. Currently I offer a color analysis, a body type style analysis, and a features analysis. The color analysis and the features analysis are kind of most relevant to this video if you want to know your best metallics, so whether you suit gold or silver and what's your undertone, as well as the features analysis, which kind of dives more into what I've been talking about for the past couple minutes, which is where I'll lay out the best jewelry styles for your specific face shape and features. features. So yeah guys, if any of this interests you, I'll leave the link to book in my description. I also want to mention the importance of matching your jewelry to your undertone. You can either be warm/olive, cool toned, or neutral. Someone who's warm or olive will have more orange and brown in their skin, so they best suit golden tones, and the warmer you are, the more brassy of jewelry you'll complement. The opposite is true for cool tone. If you have cool tone skin, you'll have a lot more pinks and blues in your undertone, so you'll really look best with silver and sometimes rose gold. Now if you're someone like me who's neutral, you might have more yellow tones in your skin, and you'll be able to suit both gold and silver, and we'll stay with neutrals. It can also depend on how tan you are. Like in the winter, I'm kind of more pale, so I lean more into silver, but as we're getting into spring and summer, I slowly get more tan and I suit gold better. Okay, so now that we've narrowed down which broad style of jewelry will tend to suit, I want to share some tips on how to layer your jewelry. An easy guide to follow is that the bigger the jewelry, the less you should layer them. Bigger jewelry just tends to be more of a statement overall. Just one chunky necklace, it can have the same impact as a lot of small delicate necklaces. I like using this formula for my necklaces. I normally only wear 2 necklaces since it can be kind of hard to find a third necklace that also matches. I guess I finally found it. As you can see, I have 3. One of them is the big statement necklace. Is almost always a pendant necklace for me, and it tends to be the longest and largest. I see a lot of people with like a heart or a cross, some kind of motif. A lot of people have the initial of their name. The next one that you want to do is a short chain. I think this is what really gives the layered effect. And like we mentioned with the rounder or longer faces, if you have a rounder or shorter face, you can still do a shorter necklace, but just do a more delicate chain type, if that makes sense. And then the center one will always need to hit in between the other 2. You don't really want 2 necklaces to layer right on top of each other, since that can look less clean and also less intentional. Another thing to note here is that all of the chains are similar thickness. They're not exactly the same, but if you pair a really thick and a really thin chain together, it will look kind of off and they can tangle. They'll look like 2 necklaces that were meant for 2 different outfits. Now for pairing your jewelry in general, you want to think about not having too much jewelry in one local area. So I tend to want the weight and size and amount of jewelry for my earrings and necklaces to complement each other. For my rings, I never tend to have more than 3 per hand. It does also depend on your clothing style. If you're more of a maximalist and you can have rings on every single finger, then it can look cohesive. But if you have a more simplistic style, adding way too much jewelry can kind of overwhelm the outfit. Also, a great way to pair rings is to pair ones that have gemstones. As you can see, this one from Monica Vander, I think it pairs well with this one from Ajuri. They're not the same style, but they both have gemstones, and also combined with the fact that they're both gold, I think it helps them pair really well together. In terms of layering bracelets, I like to pair a cuff, or I guess in this case a thicker chain, with something that's thinner and that has more movement. Sometimes pairing a lot of cuffs together, I actually think it looks nice, but just from a practical standpoint, it can get kind of noisy, so it's just personal preference. The most important pairing is going to be your necklace and your earrings. You want to think about like long earrings, short and small necklace, versus shorter earrings that can have a more statement necklace. So you can think of it as a scale. The more intense your earrings, the less intense your necklace, and vice versa. You can focus on pairing your necklace with the right neckline. Kind of like with all the different necklace styles, there's so many different neckline styles, but in general, when there's kind of a blank space for your necklaces, that's when you can use more statement styles. So this means both really high and low necks compared to a top with a more asymmetrical or intricate neckline. This kind of neckline itself is kind of a statement, so you actually don't want to go as hard with the necklaces. I would say either do a smaller necklace or even no necklace at all. Same can go with wider necklines, the off the shoulder and the boat. While these are open, they don't really have a lot of space open for the chest specifically. So in this case, I think it's best to pair wider necklines with longer earrings. You just want to think about this whole area as one space. If you add too many items, the space gets crowded, and that's when an outfit can look overdone. So speaking of this general area, another component tends to be your hair. It can really add to your look to pair your hairstyle with your jewelry. When your hair is down, I would recommend shorter earrings, and somewhat just from a point of view of practicality. If I wear really long earrings, my hair can sometimes get caught in them. It just tends to look less clean since there's so many components going on, especially if you have longer hair. So a general guide that I like to follow is when I have my hair up, I tend to focus on the earrings, and when I have my hair down, I tend to focus on my necklaces. You can even apply this balancing rule to your outfits in general. If you have a really busy outfit, like lots of patterns, lots of textures, you want your jewelry to be more delicate. If you have lots of patterns and lots of jewelry, that's when things can tend to look a bit tacky. So you want to scale back on your jewelry. They'll pair best with delicate styles as well as smooth styles like pearls. I think that's why pearls tend to really suit this kind of old money style, because old money clothing materials tend to be thicker, so they look best best with more minimal, delicate, and sleek jewelry. In comparison, if you have a really smooth or simple outfit, by smooth I mean literally smooth, like there's less patterns, less colors, more neutral, the role of your jewelry now is to add more dimension. And these often work really well with these summer outfits because summer outfits tend to be more simplistic. You can also try experimenting with sculptural or sparkly styles, since these are both statement styles. They'll work really well with a sleek dress or sleek top. The last point that I want to make is to match your hardware with your jewelry. If you have buttons on your jackets or hardware on your handbag, as well as belts and hardware on your shoes, your outfit will look way more cohesive if these tend to match your jewelry. And they don't have to match 100%. If you have a lot of gold jewelry on, this will really pull your outfit together and make your jewelry integrate way better with your clothing. If you have all kinds of different hardware, then it can look a bit disjointed, as if the different clothing pieces belong in different outfits. Alright guys, that's all I have for you for this video. Again, definitely check out Ana Luisa, as well as my personal styling services if you want to find the best colors and styles for your personal features. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram and TikTok. I love doing a lot more style and fashion content on there as well. If you like this video, definitely subscribe. I'd love to have you here. But yeah guys, I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye!